All right. And then as we get started, I want to ask you, are you in a quiet and private space? If not, just take a moment and see what you can do to increase your privacy for today. Will you be free from interruptions? We're going to be doing some experiential exercises, so paying attention and being able to attend to that is going to be essential. If you have pets as I do, or a phone, put your phone away if you can. Make sure that your pets are not interrupting, and see what you can do again as much as possible to stay connected to and present for today's talk. All right, so by way of participating in today's talk, you should be able to, by the end of today, hopefully, experience a sense of calm and focus. The last talk I gave was focused on more lecture, and I gave you a lot of information to consider in terms of especially activating that parasympathetic nervous system on a regular basis, which we're going to review a little bit today as well. But by the end of today, I want you to experience it. A lot of people understand that they want to be less stressed, and they also understand that they want to feel more calm and peaceful, but they may not have the personal experience. So I'm hoping that through today's exercises, you will have that experience of experiencing calm and focus. I'm going to give you some opportunities to practice. Also, I want to have you gain some tools for responding to stress in more desirable ways outside of today's session as well. And then lastly, I'm going to ask you to make a plan for using the exercises regularly so that when you leave here today, you have a plan for how to incorporate this into your life. All right, oops, I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so here's a brief review of the last chill out that I did last year at this time. Just a brief review of some of the concepts. Firstly, I discussed with you the effects of stress. Stress can be both favorable as well as unfavorable. And in terms of favorable, we can feel energized, we can feel focused, we can feel motivated when we are experiencing the positive effects of stress. The unfavorable effects of stress, unfortunately, we can feel irritable, it can affect our physical health. Nobody wants that. And stress does impact our physical and mental health, but the good news, there's a lot we can do to manage that. Mindset is one of the things that we can address. We are in control of our own mindsets. And if you address mindset, it can influence whether you're experiencing more of the favorable or unfavorable effects of stress. All right, we also talked about last time that you do have a choice with regards to how you appraise and perceive stress. So with regards to stress responses, appraisal and control and perceived control really are key. In terms of appraisal, when something happens that is stressful, let's just say that I'm at the office, I'm getting ready to leave, I'm looking forward to be home with my family, and my boss comes by and throws a bunch of papers on my desk and says, I want this done by 8 o'clock tomorrow. I thought I was done. I wanted to get out of here. And so I have a choice, though. I can view that ask by my boss as a challenge, or I can view it as a threat. If I view it as a threat, I'm going to be experiencing more of the negative effects of stress. I'm probably going to experience negative emotions, have a higher heart rate, more stress hormone going through my body. If I view it as a challenge, how can I set an appropriate boundary? How can I get this done and also have my personal life after work? And what can I do to manage this? When we talk about challenge, I like to think about it in terms of similarly to how an athlete has challenges. Think about an athlete who does a long jump, for instance, and they challenge themselves for the next time to do even better and to go longer with the next long jump. And so when it comes to stressful situations, that's how I want to support you to think, is more like how athletes think. That, okay, what can I do to manage this better next time? What can I do to take the threat out of the situation? Now, if something is actually a threat, your life is actually on the line, good idea to perceive it that way. But if it's not, if it's, most of our stressors are everyday hassles, running late, again, being asked to do too many things and even having to say no is stressful. And in addition, so again, running late, getting in traffic, too many obligations, dealing with people that may be difficult for you. So again, those things, we don't have control over a lot of what happens, but what we do have control over is how do I perceive that? Am I going to perceive that as a threat or as a challenge? Am I going to appraise that, evaluate that to be a threat or a challenge? And what's interesting is what science shows that when people perceive stressors more as challenging, their body responds differently. Their body responds with less stress hormone. Their body responds with less of an elevated heart rate. Their body responds with, and then in terms of your mind also responds differently as well. Your mind responds to, this is a challenge. What am I going to do about that? You go into problem solving mode. That is awesome, as opposed to overwhelm. So this is where we have a choice. How do I appraise the stressor? And let's focus on what I can control. Okay. All right, the other thing we talked about last time was practicing optimism. What is optimism? So firstly, most people think of optimism as a glass is half full or a glass is half empty. That's not how most psychologists view optimism today. Maybe it was a while ago, but for today, optimism is viewed a little bit more complexly, and it's considered to be what's called an explanatory style. How do you explain favorable and unfavorable events that occur in your life? Do you explain in terms of like optimists do, or do you explain more like pessimists do? So briefly, when something unfavorable happens, optimists tend to go into problem solving mode, and optimists as well tend to see it as something specific to the current situation, and it's not going to have an impact in the rest of their lives. It's like, this is something I don't like, but it's essentially kept boxed in this one situation. Whereas pessimists, when something unfavorable happens, very sadly, pessimists tend to generalize from that. And they tend to essentially perceive negative events as being common, as being expected, and also as being something that's going to last a long time, going to affect everything that they do. It's not specific to the one situation, and they're more likely to give up. Now, when something favorable happens, I start with the pessimists. The pessimists also have a hard time. The pessimists actually, when with unfavorable events, pessimists tend to explain in the way that optimists do. I'm sorry, for favorable events, pessimists explain like optimists do for unfavorable events. So when something positive happens, let's just say that I'm a teacher, so let's just say that a student got an A on a test, and the student is more pessimistic in their explanatory style. The student is more likely to say, that's specific to this one situation. It's not going to affect anything else in my life. So they might explain it in terms of, well, aren't I lucky that the teacher gave an easy test this time? As again, that person's not even taking credit for the good hard work that they did, the studying that they did. It's specific to this one situation because the teacher might give a different kind of test next time. You're not in control of that. Now, compare that to how the optimist will explain something favorable, like doing well on a test. The optimist is more likely to say, I studied hard and my grade reflects that. And I'm a hard worker. I study well. I'm smart. Being smart, being a hard worker, studying well affects many other aspects of one's life. So what the optimists do is when something favorable happens, they generalize to the rest of their lives. They're experiencing more positive emotions. And they're more likely, and again, because they generalize it again, and they feel good, the feel good emotions are also generalized to the rest of their lives. Whereas for the pessimists, they're containing those good feelings and they're not really owning them. So this is what psychologists mean about optimism and pessimism. And if you want to learn more, I suggest looking up the work of Martin Seligman, Seligman. He does a really good job on this topic. And this is something that is associated with managing stress. Guess what? Optimists manage stress a lot better than pessimists do. Optimists tend to experience more positive emotions when they're presented with challenges. They overcome them more often, and they tend to have better long-term physical health as well. So I want to make this clear. Health is not, whether somebody is ill or not ill is not somebody's fault. However, being more optimistic can help the person manage their health better. Being more optimistic, people who are more optimistic when they have something happen, now let's just take women in childbirth. women who go through natural childbirth and are more optimistic. Can you put the researcher's name in the text? Yes. When a optimist is when an optimist is going through something like childbirth, the optimist is focused on the end result and interpreting the pain differently than a pessimist. The optimist is more likely to say, this is what I'm supposed to be going through. This is going to be over soon. Let me just get through this moment, do my breathing that I was taught. The pessimist is more likely to say, there must be something wrong. That's why I'm in so much pain. And they tend to kind of feed the negativity, so to speak, and they experience more physical pain subjectively when they report on the amount of pain that they had. So optimism can be really, really useful in many different places in one's life, but most especially for today's topic, in managing stress. All right. Let's go. There we go. All right. The other thing I went over last time was practicing activating that parasympathetic nervous system. We had many ways to do so that I reviewed with you last time. Today, we're going to have some time to do a few of those. What research shows is that regularly activating that parasympathetic nervous system may lessen stress reactivity. So when a stressor occurs in our environment, in our world, our stress response system is activated, and that is activated through what's called the sympathetic nervous system. So there's the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is when we go into fight or flight. And we evolved to go into fight or flight, and it's a really good system. I'm so glad that we have it. It gets us through emergency situations, and that is what we evolved to manage. A short-term, boom, done emergency situation. Think of zebras on the savannah. Maybe you've all seen these documentaries of zebras on the savannah in Africa. And, you know, the camera pans and you see a lion all crouched down under the grass. And the zebras are eating peacefully, but then the lion jumps out and they all run. They only have flight because they're zebras, but we have fight and flight. And so they run. And then what happens is the lion gets one of them, sadly, but also the lion needs to eat too, so conflicted. So the lion gets one of them. And what do the rest of the zebras do? Oh, that's cool, wasn't me. And they go back to eating and they're peaceful and their stress response is done and they go back to baseline. And that is how our stress response system also evolved, to manage those short-term emergency situations and then boom, go back to baseline, peaceful again. But what happens in our modern world is our stress response system gets activated and reactivated because it activates in exactly the same way for a physical threat as for a mental and emotional threat. So if we regularly activate our parasympathetic nervous system, we can lessen our stress reactivity when something comes up, when a stressor shows itself. Activating your parasympathetic nervous system, that is known as the rest and digest system. It is activated after we've had a nice meal. So after Thanksgiving, some of you might be remembering last weekend. And remember after your wonderful meal, you felt kind of sleepy and peaceful. That's your parasympathetic nervous system being activated. Those of you who meditate on a regular basis, when you get into that flow of meditation, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. There are a number of things we can do to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And if you do that on a regular basis, and it doesn't take long, just do 5 minutes of meditation. You don't have to do a full hour. 5 minutes every day can be really impactful in terms of how you feel. So we talked about that last time, and we're going to have some more practice today. Now, again, so today we're going to do some practice, but I want to let you know as well, if you're not comfortable with any of these activities, you don't have to do them. You can just do something else. You can put your computer on mute if you don't want to listen, and just do what works for you. If something is not your cup of tea, don't do it. If it is your cup of tea, please play along, and I hope that you have some good experiences. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to play you a short video clip from Johns Hopkins University. And in this short video clip, we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be doing it with you, we're going to be doing some muscle relaxation. So essentially from, I'm not sure where she starts, I can't remember. She starts either at the top or the bottom of the body and just goes through the whole body and just tensing and relaxing different muscles. And then this helps you to become aware of what your muscles are doing, but also has you practice being in control of what's going on with my muscles at any given time. If you're tensed up, you can in fact actively, consciously relax those muscles. All right, and so again, doing this on a regular basis does in fact activate that parasympathetic nervous system. One more thing before we get started with this exercise. Between each exercise that I do with you today, I'm going to be playing a meditation bell. So it's one thing that I really love myself. I bought one myself and I love playing it. You just boom, and then it's just like, everything just releases. That's how I experience it. So I'm playing a meditation bell between every exercise. Again, if it's something that you don't like, something that you are concerned about, and you're just not comfortable, you can just place your computer on mute. There will be a meditation bell picture that comes up on your screen. And then when the meditation bell is over, I will move on to the next slide, and you can turn your computer sound back on again if that feels better for you. Okay, do whatever works for you. All right, let's take a look at this relaxation exercise from Johns Hopkins, excuse me. Okay, thanks for letting me know that there's no sound. Let me see what I can do about that. And share, advanced sharing options. I don't see a way to do the sound. So what I'm going to do is let me see if I can open this up in a new window. This worked when I did this for faculty a few weeks ago.
You may have to stop sharing what you're sharing now and
And
then
then reshare.
reshare. Yeah.
Okay,
And
let's
and
see.
look for the share sound button.
Okay, I stopped share. Let me go to share again. And there we go, share sound. Thank you so much. Who was it that said that? Thank you so much. That's so helpful.
No
All right,
problem.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you so much. All right, let me reverse back to that slide. See if we can get that started again. And Zoom. Thank you for your patience while we work this out. Here we go. And I did click share sound. All right, let's see if this works. And oops, slideshow. Resumes.
Or eliminate any of the strategies.
Okay. So could you hear that now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your help. Don't know what it's, there we go.
Creates tension in the body. Progressive muscle relaxation. Stress, whether you realize it or not, creates tension in the body. Patients with rheumatic diseases tend to have a lot of muscle tension, especially when trying to cope with the daily joint stiffness and pain. This next exercise, known as progressive muscle relaxation, involves purposely tensing and relaxing different muscles so you can more easily identify the difference between feeling tense and feeling relaxed. Just like the first exercise, the end goal here is to feel less stressed. Also, it's important to note that you should not engage in any of these exercises if you have pain in different parts of the body or distress or limitations. You should not be in any discomfort while doing these exercises, so please feel free to modify or eliminate any of the strategies as you see fit. Let's practice. Again, find a comfortable place to either sit or lie down. You can begin by taking a few deep, relaxing breaths. Let's begin by bringing attention to your feet. Curl your toes in tightly to feel the tensing muscles of the foot, of both feet. Hold this for a few moments before releasing the tension and relaxing the feet. Do you notice the difference? Noticing the difference between a tense and relaxed muscle is the purpose of this exercise. Now we're going to repeat this relaxation exercise with different parts of the body. Now, point your feet down, pointing the toes down toward the floor, feeling the tension in your calf muscles. Hold that for a few moments and release. Once again, noticing that change from moments of tension and moments of relaxation. Now, bringing attention to the thigh muscles, point the toes upward toward the ceiling, feeling the tension in the large muscles of the thighs. Hold that for a few moments, and when you're ready, begin to release. Now bring attention to the buttocks, tightening the muscles of the buttocks as you sit or lie on the floor. Once again, holding this for a few moments and gently relaxing. Bringing attention to the belly, to the muscles of the abdomen, and tensing these muscles as if you're bringing your belly button in, pushing your belly button in toward the spine, and holding here for a moment and gently relaxing. Noticing the back, and here just gently arching the lower back and seeing if you can feel the tension along the muscles in the back as you arch the back. Hold for a moment or two and then slowly release. Working our way up to the shoulders, a place where we tend to hold a lot of tension. Bringing your shoulders up towards your ears, squeezing them up, holding them for a moment, and slowly and gently releasing the shoulders. Now focusing on the hands, making the hands into a fist and squeezing tightly. Hold it another moment and slowly release. Now working up to the arms, you can just gently keep the fists if you like and bring the lower arms toward the upper arms. Pulling the forearms up towards the upper arms, tightening the biceps, and slowly releasing. And finally, bringing attention to the face and the mouth. Here, we're going to squeeze our eyes tight, holding them shut tight, pursing the lips. Holding for a moment and slowly relaxing. Once you've tensed and relaxed all of these muscles, notice how your body feels. Allow yourself to feel totally relaxed as you sit or lie here. You can do this exercise daily. If you have time, you can tense and relax each series of muscles twice for a more extensive relaxation exercise.
Maybe just take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it out. All right, I hope you enjoyed the relaxation exercise. We're going to now do another exercise in box breathing. This is one that we did in the last chill out that many people responded saying that they wanted more, so we'll do it again. This is pre-recorded by me, a little exercise in terms of box breathing. So what is box breathing? Box breathing is essentially breathing in and then holding for a few seconds and then breathing out slowly and then holding again. So breathe in through your nose, hold, breathe out through your mouth, hold. And we'll do that a few times, probably 3 times, I think. Let's go ahead and give this a try. I hope you enjoy it. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out through your mouth, hold. Breathe in through your nose, hold. Breathe out through your mouth, hold. Last time, breathe in, hold. Breathe out, hold. And now breathe normally. Okay, let's take one more deep breath in and slowly let it out. Feel how your body feels right now. Is it feeling any more relaxed, a little bit more calm than you did when you started about 30 or so minutes ago? I hope so. And then just sit with that feeling for just a moment for those of you who are practicing along and are feeling a little bit calmer. Just to get yourself kind of just notice the feeling. For me, when I'm feeling calm, I feel it here in my chest. Where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel the calmness? Where do you feel like, ah? Just notice it, attend to it, so that when you're practicing on your own, you recognize it when you are doing this. All right, the next exercise we're going to do is a 5-minute mindfulness meditation. I really like 5-minute meditations from Great Meditations on YouTube. There are tons for free, pretty much for anything that you want to address. So they have them for anxiety. They have them for an overactive mind, which is different than anxiety. They have them just for gratitude. They have them for like pretty much any topic you can think of. You can do just 5 minutes of meditation. And again, activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And this is with some guidance, so it's not all on you. One of the things that I really appreciate are all of those folks on YouTube and I guess TikTok, but I don't have TikTok, but for those of you who do on YouTube or TikTok, all of the folks that make these exercises available for free. As somebody who does this work, it's like, yes, I can meditate for 5 minutes, but I mean, I have to come up with my own plan but when somebody else is doing it, it's like, oh, I can let that go. Let somebody else come up with my plan. Let somebody else guide me instead of me providing the guidance all the time. And it's really liberating to just kind of hand the reins over to somebody else. So I really appreciate 5-minute meditations. I hope you appreciate this as well. Again, if this is something that you're not comfortable with and you just don't want to do it, after this is over, the meditation bell slide will appear again. And you can turn your sound back on at that time if you're not interested in this and just want to turn your sound off. All right. So if you join me, let's do this together. And if not, you'll take a 5-minute break and rejoin us when you see the meditation bell come back on in about 5 minutes.
To begin this mindfulness meditation, just let yourself get into a comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. When your body feels ready, you may gently close your eyes. With your eyes closed, take a moment to tune inwards. First, simply noticing your body. Tuning in to the weight of gravity, the points of contact between you and the surface on which you are resting. What else do you notice? What is it like for you to be in your body right now? As you observe this, you simply accept and allow whatever it is you notice, harboring no judgment, just being mindful, noticing what is with a sense of compassion in your heart and letting it be. Continue to do this now with your breath as well as your body. If you haven't already, begin to tune into the sensations of breathing. What do you notice? Just observe, accept, and allow. No judgment, just letting everything be how it is. As you stay mindful of your breath and your body, with a sense of compassion in your heart. Keeping your eyes closed, you allow your awareness to expand to include the space around your body. It's as if you can sense the air around you, the objects around you, and you just allow them to be as you simply are. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to judge. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Don't judge it. Just return your focus to what is. Being connected to your breath, your body, and your sense of presence in the world around you. You let everything simply be, including yourself. You now begin to let your attention travel back, becoming more and more aware of physical sensations by rolling your shoulders, wiggling your fingers and toes, still being mindful of what is, and taking this present moment awareness with you as you slowly begin to open your eyes back to the world around you. Wonderful job doing this practice. We hope you enjoy the rest of your beautiful day.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I love 5-minute meditations, like I said, and I do use it often. So I hope that if those of you who enjoyed it, you can find that on YouTube for free. Now we're going to do some positive self-talk. Last time, I think I just talked, you're welcome. Last time, I think I talked with you about positive self-talk, but we didn't do much. So today we're going to do some positive self-talk. Most of the time we're talking to ourselves in our heads. Just think about what you say to yourself. Let's say you're rushing out the door and you drop something. You might not say it out loud, but you say something in your head. You're constantly thinking about what it is that you're doing, and you're talking to yourself throughout your day. Most people are in their heads. That is normal. And so we all do it. But how do you talk to yourself? And so research on this matter shows that when people engage in positive self-talk on a regular basis, they manage stressful situations much better than those who, of course, are engaged in more negative self-talk. And so the first thing to be aware of is, how are you talking to yourself? So next time, after this workshop is over, pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. And if you don't like it, if you wouldn't say that to a friend of yours, don't say it to yourself. Okay. You wouldn't say that aloud to a friend of yours. Don't say it to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Treat yourself like you are your own best friend, and be your own best friend. Treat yourself kindly. And what research shows again is people who do that, they experience more positive emotions on a more regular basis, and experiencing more positive emotions on a more regular basis kind of serves as a protection against stressful events, which we all have. There's no way to get through life without having stress. We all have it. So I'm going to take a moment I'm going to change my screen here. Oops, let me go back. There we go. I need to get out of the screen for just a moment. Hold on, go back. Let me hit escape and see if that does it. Yay. All right, and I need to go to another screen because my printer, of course, decided to die right before this talk. So I'm going to be reading, and I don't know if you can see the words in front of you, but regardless, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And I'm going to be reading some positive self-talk messages that I prepared. While I read these positive self-talk messages, just have your eyes closed. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading some statements aloud, and I'm going to say them once aloud, and then after I'm going to say now you, and pause. And during this pause, I want you to repeat the statement to yourself, whether it's once, twice, or 3 times, and use your name. What research shows is that when you talk to yourself and use your name, it's more effective than just saying you. So for instance, let's just say that I did something well, and I do congratulate myself when I do something well. I'm proud of myself for my good practices. I don't just teach this stuff, I use it as well. So let's just say that I did something well. Let's just say I had a great lecture, and I might say, Natasha, good lecture, okay? And I say that to myself silently in my head. And research shows that that's more effective than saying you did a good job, good lecture, you, or just, not even saying your name. So saying your name is really important. So I'm going to read a statement aloud. I'm going to give you an example first. So you're going to hear me chattering just a little bit longer. I'm going to give you an example first. And then after that example, I'm going to then say, then I'm going to go through each one, and I'm going to read the statement aloud and then say, now you. And then you're going to repeat that to yourself in your own head. Okay. And if the statement doesn't fit for you and you don't like it, don't do it. Okay. Only do the ones that are your cup of tea. All right. So let's start with a guided example. So with this example, you have managed past challenges well enough. You will manage this one well enough too. Now, if I'm going to be doing this in my own head, I'll say, Natasha, you have managed past challenges well enough. You will manage this one well enough too. Okay, so let's just start with that first one. You have managed past challenges well enough. You will manage this one well enough too. Now you. All right, and so I'm going to pause for about 30 seconds between each one so that you can spend your time again practicing that. Okay, let's try the next one. You trust that you will move forward when the time is right for you. Now you. You are supported. You are loved. Now you. You listen to and follow your inner wisdom. Now you. You are inspired to follow your passion and you inspire others. Now you. You are fully present in this moment. Now you. You bring joy to yourself and others. Now you. Your actions and your words reflect your most precious values. Now you. You understand situations from many different perspectives. Now you. You trust yourself to make good decisions. Now you. You are calm and capable and manage yourself well. Now you. Okay, let's pause one more time. Okay, now let's just take a moment for you to consider. I hope that you're enjoying these. And let's just take a moment to consider when and where you will nourish yourself. Are you going to nourish yourself and activate that parasympathetic nervous system when you're alone, with a partner, family member, friend? When will you have time to just take a few moments every day for yourself? Are you going to do this in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening? Which days are you going to be doing this? How many days a week? And start slowly. Something that tends to undermine people is uh, starting and kind of overdoing it at first. Like, I'm going to do this every single day. And then you miss a day, and then you kind of feel bad about that, and then you don't do it again. So what I would recommend is, give yourself permission to do it every couple of days. And if you miss one, again, just talk to yourself as you would your own best friend. Oh, you missed a day. So guess what? Tomorrow's another day. Let's do it tomorrow. And then make sure to do it. Okay. So just be forgiving of yourself. Think about when are you going to be doing exercises for yourself to activate that parasympathetic nervous system on a regular basis so that you are more stress responsive, less stress reactive. You get this feeling of calm within your body on a regular basis. And then hopefully you can expand on that.